So today's number of the day is 0. 0 is the units of hope that any team carried of having any other result than 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way to 22 in this past race in Mercedes, because it was a blowout. 0% hope.
Woof.
Big wolf.
F1 America, baby! You're telling me these guys can turn left and right?
Welcome, beautiful people, to the F1 America podcast on this Chinese Grand Prix race review. We are back. Alongside me is Nathaniel Lawler.
Welcome, people, to China. We're here back in China, the worst country. The USA is such a better country than China.
Dude, Matt, wait, first of all, are you feeling okay? You sound kind of under the weather.
Dude, I've just been wrecked by allergies.
Why is everyone wrecked by allergies right now?
Because I'm a Midwest boy thrown in dry AF Colorado.
Bro, you've been here for so long, though. That's no excuse.
I've been outside of Michigan for
Adapt and overcome, brother.
Okay, you tell me how we go from 74 degrees to feels like 5 degrees in a single day,
and then back to 80.
Dude, that's I am just an allergic boy, and I don't do well with medicine because I'm lazy for the most part. So your homeboy's out here grinding using Monster.
Yeah, that's literally you're poisoning yourself. Okay. What the heck?
If you are watching this, you can't see it. Oh, there we go. Monster Rehab. Natty, let me tell you what's in
this. Oh, that's a scam. You were getting scammed right now.
Okay, get ready for this. 25 calories, 1 can. 7 grams of carb, 3 grams of added sugar, and total sugar. Then you got calcium, potassium, vitamin B3, B6, B12.
Just take a daily vitamin. What the heck?
Magnesium. You got electrolytes. You got coconut water. You got milk thistle and quercetin, all in one can.
This is terrible. We're not sponsored, and we'll never be. And maybe could be sponsored by Monster, but I think you're probably making it worse. I would go far to say.
If you're telling me that a free plug for Monster Recovery got me unlimited Monster rehabs for the rest of my life, I would take that in a
This
heartbeat.
podcast will have a life of about 24 months because you'll be dead by then. Literally. Yeah, dude, that's brutal. That's brutal. Well, I'm sorry that you're not feeling good. That freaking sucks.
Hey, but we're out here. Our fans need this. I had people texting me, hey, when are you dropping your next podcast? It's going to be Monday, so me and Natty are out here. Sunday night, baby. This for the people.
Yeah, we're doing it for y'all. This is an act of love, an act of service.
This isn't for us. We're not doing this for us. We're doing this for you guys.
For you, for the people. We're very pro the people of the United States of America, greatest country in the world.
Come on. But Natty, what's going on?
Man, just freaking thinking about F1 today, man. It was a crazy week. Not a ton. Not thinking about Monster, not drinking Monster. No, we're gearing up for a warm week.
I see you're popping up on a couple people's algorithms now for your dirtbag and backcountry skiing.
Who, Megan's?
Dude, handful of people. I won't name names.
Who?
But Megan.
Literally just Megan. No, that's been going well. Been just posting those snowboarding bit. When I'm not talking about F1 with Matt and I'm not working, I like to be biking or snowboarding. And sometimes I post videos of me snowboarding. So that's fun.
You have some comments that just come out of left field, like you quote movies and songs. That I'm just like,
I don't know where
going through his head.
No, it's honestly crazy. Like my brain, I think I'm just talking about what's going on in my head. And normally when I'm skiing, like most people, if there's like a ski video, there's a soundtrack to a ski video, some sick song. For me, when I am skiing downhill, I just bring the song myself and end up just kind of singing, and that's always kind of been like, I don't know where that came from, but it's kind of hilarious. Some people think it's funny and think that I'm kind of crazy, but it's been fun.
Dude, it is hilarious.
And now people just find me in the wild, which is hilarious. The other day, this was crazy. This was when I was like, wait, what's happening? We were skiing up at Berthoud Pass, Hope and I were, and
shout out
Hope, shout out Megan. She's probably in the other room like, "What is he talking about?" We're up at Berthoud Pass, and we're just getting ready, and this guy walks up to us, and he's like, "I think I recognize you from Instagram." And I was like, no, it was honestly crazy. I was just like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" Like, and so it was pretty funny. He, like, knew my account and, like, recognized me by my gear and, like, my voice, which was crazy.
So if you don't know, Natty is now an influencer and famous all across the backcountry of Colorado.
Bro, I'm plugging our pod on my stories. I let people know.
Come on.
And
F1
I'm
America pod,
yeah,
baby.
dude, I'm gonna keep dropping it. I'm gonna keep dropping it. It'll be good. But yeah, dude, doing well. Doing well. Not gonna ski this week. It's gonna be 86 degrees in Colorado.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go biking a lot.
That's fair.
Dude, let's jump into it. Freaking this was a weird one. This was a weird one. Chinese Grand Prix, China. We had a sprint race and the main race. But tell me, what are you thinking? What are you thinking?
Well, you said sprint race. So for those who are newer, because I know we actually have a handful of people who are just getting into Formula One, both are people we know, and sick that a lot of my friends have been passing around. So to those of you who don't know Nathaniel or I, we appreciate you listening, and we hope you find this enjoyable as you watch it in tandem with Formula One.
Also, please join our F1 league, our fantasy league. It's so fun, and we want to meet you through there. So
yeah,
be fun. We should like start a Discord or something too. That would be fun.
Yeah, I got banned from this week because of how poorly I performed last week, but we'll be back next race. But but
oh no.
Yeah, so you mentioned sprint race, Natty. Quickly in a minute, explain what a sprint race is and how it affects a weekend and why it's different than any other normal weekend.
Okay, so this is a good question because my wife asked me on what was it, Friday night? Yeah, Friday night. My wife was like, "Why are you watching the race? The race and the race is Sunday, right?" And I was like, "Yes, but there's a small race." Like a tiny race, a baby boy race before the race. Exactly. So there's multiple races. Basically, a couple years ago, FIA and Formula One were like, we want more action. We want more racing, which in general, I'm a fan of. And so they decided to introduce this concept called a sprint race that happens probably like 5 times in the calendar, something like that, 5 or 6 times. Only a few weekends will have it. And basically what it is a truncated version of practice to where you have less practice sessions and then you have a small race. This one was like 19 laps or something like that. For minimal points, you do score some points, but it's like a full-on race, but it's just guns a-blazing. Everyone's going super fast. Typically not a single pit stop. No mandated pit stops. You can if you need to. And then, so it's basically just a short race before qualifying, and then you go to race qualifying, and then the actual race. The only reason why we're doing sprint races is to have more racing action. That is it. It's like 3 years old, and
it's very new.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah, I'm a fan too. I mean, and to just kind of cap off what Natty said, is typically on a race weekend, on the other side, you'll have an FP1, FP2, and FP3, and then you'll have qualifying, and then you'll have the race. So you remove FP2 and FP3 on a sprint race weekend, and you replace FP2 with a sprint qualifying. And then FP3 is qualifying, then you have your regular qualifying, and then you have a race. That's essentially the standard weekend versus sprint weekend. And typically, sprint races have sucked in the past. And Natty, I almost put my foot in my mouth during the sprint race because, man, it was fun to watch.
It was pretty fun.
I was honestly like, okay, am I completely wrong? Are these regulations actually dope?
Yeah, there's a ton of like crazy action. So I honestly think that sprint races, like for the whole battery 50-50 thing, and maybe we talk about that some more later, but I'm like, what the new car setup is makes sense for a sprint race versus the long race. I feel like it was more fun because you have all this crazy battery deployment and fending off. It's yet to be seen if that can really work on a long like time frame for the full race length for most cars. But yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, and I mean,
I had a good time.
This weekend, Pseudo saved my opinions on this year's regulation. I'm not sold. I am not sold.
Okay.
But it was better
I might have a different opinion, so we'll get into that later.
But so just reviewing the race, I wanted to jump into this new segment called This Week's Top 10. Natty, and what we're doing in this segment is just running through the top 10 finishers.
Okay.
So those people who get points.
Yep.
In hopes that our listeners get to remember who's on what team, who's who was talked about, what to look forward to next week.
I've got a jingle for it. Can I intro it with the jingle?
Hit the jingle, Natty.
Do this week's top 10. This week's top 10.
Top 10. So this week's top 10. And first, Kimi Antonelli with Mercedes. P2, George Russell, Mercedes. P3, Lewis Hamilton, Ferrari. P4, Charles Leclerc, Ferrari. P5, Ollie Behrman, Haas. P6, Pierre Gasly, Alpine.
Oui.
P7, Liam Lawson, Racing Bulls.
Crikey.
P8, Isaac Hadjar, Red Bull Racing.
Baguette.
P9, Williams with Carlos Sainz.
Buenos dias.
And rounding off the top 10 in P10, Franco Colapinto.
Argentina.
But that's this week's top 10, Natty. And I would love to get your thoughts on this week's top 10. What was surprising? Give me your initial reactions.
Okay, so I'm bored with the top 2 already. This feels like replay of, 2024 Red Bull, where it's just when Max and Sergio Perez were finishing 1-2 all the time.
Okay, I'm going to insert myself, though.
Go.
Kimi's first win of the,
No, it's exciting. It was exciting. Okay, yeah. Let me back up because there's validity
Formula
there.
Driver to get pole, and then also his first race win ever as an 18-year-old.
No, it's 19 years old and 200 and something days. Makes him the second youngest driver to win a Grand Prix behind our guy. Max Verstappen. Do it, play it, rip it. Play it. I don't care if we get canceled in Belarus and Russia. Play the song.
Okay.
That's Max, dude. He's the youngest ever to do it. I think he won. What was it? Was it Mexico?
I don't know.
It was something. It was awesome. But yeah, so Kimi's super young. He crushed. Here's the thing, though. I think Kimi did a good job. No, I don't have any caveats. I feel like George kind of should have cleared the Ferrari sooner, and George should have won that race by all accounts. I think George is better right now in the Mercedes than Kimi by landslide. Anyway, so that's exciting. George, Woody from Toy Story, he was pretty solid.
Yeah.
The Ferraris I would have turned this race off if it wasn't for
Amen.
The Ferraris racing. We'll get to that later. Oliver Behrman, dog. Absolute dog. No one can stop him. He might be the sleeper. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves Haas after this year and gets picked up by one of the top 4s because
No, dude. He is just waiting to take Lewis's seat at Ferrari. He's a Ferrari driver.
Yeah.
He was in Ferrari Academy, and as soon as Lewis retired, they will
they'll snap him up. He's just looking good, dude. He's racing hard. It's really fun. Honestly, I was stoked on Pierre at number 6, Alpine. Last year, Alpine was absolute cheeks, and this year it looks like they have pace. Like, it's crazy this year to watch Red Bull and Alpine jockeying. You're like, wait, what am I seeing? Like, versus last year, like, that just never would have been a sentence that we would have said that, like, an Alpine is passing a Red Bull at like a hairpin turn. It's just crazy. So that's fun. No, I mean, I don't know if I have any thoughts on the bottom 4. What are your thoughts on top 10?
Yeah, I mean, I'll second you and preset from the mountaintop that Ferrari kept my attention. That racing was so fun to watch, and it was just fun seeing Lewis be Lewis again.
Yeah,
just
for sure.
Make some dog moves.
No, he's good.
But I'll say immediately when I started seeing the separation with the Mercedes and Ferraris from the rest of the grid, I was like, this is pre-downforce era where you just get a massive DRS train. DRS doesn't exist anymore. But what a DRS train is you had the back flap open when you were within a second of someone, and you would have so many cars that were kind of close that didn't have enough power to pass. So you'd have a train of like 12 cars, and then the top 2-3 teams were a minute ahead of the field because everyone was so slow and couldn't pass. I got very heavy DRS vibes, so I wasn't stoked about that.
Yeah, I think how I was interpreting that, and I could be very wrong, I just feel like there's such a gap in performance, like, between the teams. Um, like, the difference between the Mercedes and, like, the back of the pack is, like, it's so gigantic, and that's really weird versus last year. You know, the difference between, like, the front of the field and the back of the field was, like, less than a second during qualifying.
Which we've had Max Verstappen win races by significant margins.
Yeah.
And, like, to see some, like, the back-to-back closer, but then you have Mercedes and Ferrari so far up the grid
Yeah.
that you're just like, "Oh, no, it's happening again."
I know,
But
I'm kinda worried that, like, the script is gonna be written, which is a bummer, and I think, like, that's what I was most looking forward to chatting with you about is this sentiment around regulations. Like, I feel like we're gonna be talking about this for a
Ooh,
while,
yeah.
and my non-lizard brain tells me, "Just wait until midpoint of the season. Let's
Mhm.
see where we're at the summer break." Summer break, for anyone who doesn't know, there's like a 4-week break where everyone goes on holiday. The F1 drivers go sail around in their yachts and stuff.
Well, quick disclaimer, all the Middle East races are canceled, so April, we have no races.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Wait, like all of them?
Yep,
Wait,
Qatar
which ones are the
and Abu Dhabi.
wait, no, aren't those the last?
I think let me
Did they
double check.
change the schedule?
Keep talking. I'm gonna Google it.
No, here, we're both looking up. We're both looking up. This is good. Look, there's like 40 people listening to this, so I think we're fine. Hey, you
Dude,
40?
we had 130 streams so far in the past 30 days.
Oh, really?
Cheers to us.
Dude, sick. That's freaking awesome. But anyone
Bahrain canceled. Saudi
wait,
Arabia canceled.
are you serious?
Yep. So the only two in April is Bahrain, which canceled. Saudi Arabia
Wait,
canceled. Next one,
Bahrain is called
Miami.
off, are you sure?
Yeah, it says on Formula One site that Bahrain status
Whoa.
canceled. Saudi Arabia status canceled.
No way. That's crazy. Wait, because of the bombs in Tehran. Dude, that's so gnar.
I mean, yeah,
Why are we doing that?
let's not go into politics.
But why are we like give me some pros real quick, because right now we don't have F1. The freaking gas prices are through the roof, and those are two big enough problems to make me want to just throw something out a window.
Yeah, I mean, it all starts with Venezuela, and you were in Venezuela when this happened. It's an oil
No,
play.
you were right next to Venezuela when, yeah, we that's crazy. Oh my gosh, dude,
It's an oil play. I mean,
dude,
what
oil play.
the U.S. government's trying to do is we now have access to Venezuela, which is a huge oil cache.
Dude.
And then we're going after Iran, which is blocking a lot of China's oil cache. So they're two biggest oil distributors were Venezuela and Iran.
Dude, but someone was telling me today that China's made in the last 30 years some crazy play towards renewables to where they're like not hurting that much. Like, I don't know, dude. It's great. Anyways, the biggest
why we
thing,
watch F1 and not
the biggest worry about this though is that we don't have F1 in April.
Yeah, which means our next one is Miami, which we need to book our tickets, Dave.
I know. I'm still waiting to hear back from our ticket plug to make sure that we have this because I'm going to confirm that before.
Worst case scenario, we'll kick it to the Austin.
Yeah, seriously.
But
let's see.
That being said,
so Miami, May. Wow. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, what were we talking about?
Reeling it back in here.
Reel back in.
So
dude, we're riffing, dude. People love us. People love us riffing, dude.
But we were talking about some sus going on within the F1 world when it comes to these regulations.
Yeah. Okay. So we have to wait for the mid break. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
My lizard brain. Dude, this race made me not really like what's happening. I think I'm like, I would rather see the cars from last year. Like this battery thing it really feels like it's creeping too far to Formula E. I am seeing these cars boost past one another. Like battery deployment feels so huge and it just doesn't feel like it feels like over-engineered motor racing. But I've got a lot of thoughts. Tell me your just general, because you said you have a positive sentiment based on the sprint race.
I just have a positive sentiment of like, I'm trying to look at the new viewer as well as I will gladly hop on the pedestal against this, and I will get there, I promise. But new viewer, you come in, there's a lot of wheel-to-wheel racing happening everywhere from, gosh, all the way up and down the grid.
Mhm.
It's like there's so many. Esteban Ocon tried making a move, didn't work out well, took out Lindblad, and like there's just a lot happening. So from
Yeah,
a
that was crazy. Also crazy
viewer's
to hear Esteban owning that he's like, "That's
that
my
was my
bad."
fault.
And I'm like, "Wait, that's an F1 driver being accountable? This is crazy."
Yeah, and so from a new viewer who is newer to the sport, it's
Okay.
fun to watch.
Okay.
But so
I can get on that train.
my caveat is racing can be fun to watch, but what newer fans don't see that we and older fans do see is this is throwing it back to the early 2020s of you have a separation of the clear top teams who develop their engines, Mercedes and Ferrari, and they develop their engines for a majority of the grid and sell them to majority of the teams. And you have these teams who are far above everyone else. And I look at that, I'm like, okay, we're just getting the same thing as the early 2020s and late 2010s.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why not just have engineers build an awesome V10 fully combustion engine? Like, just give the guys an engine. Like, if you're already building it, it's like, let's just go back to pure F1 at the peak of motorsport. So I'm like, if it's going to be like this, I would rather it be pure Formula One and have this engine power and then just let them racing. I'm like, so far, pros and cons.
Yeah,
But
here's the problem that I see with the current F1 regulations. Clip this. The problem that I see is that you have what you mentioned is this really good component of the battery, which is allowing a lot of wheel to wheel and like boost overtakes because there's battery deployment and you have these surges of horsepower when maybe cars would be more even as they are like racing next to one another and you couldn't pass as easily. Now you can pass very easily, but there's a cost because if you pass really easily and you deplete your battery, then someone can repass you. For the viewer, for us, that's really good because you have all these like new introduced strategies of overtaking zones that aren't traditional overtaking zones. Your number of overtakes is a lot greater than in the past. The problem is that works when all cars are equal. If all cars are running in a more even playing field, and then you add that boost component, that electrical like surge component, racing becomes like so intense and like action packed, but there's not an even playing field. There's this incredible disparity gap right now. And that's the one issue that I'm seeing is like Mercedes and Cadillac are on the same grid, but like racing in a completely different category. Like the Cadillac and Aston Martin being the slowest cars in the grid right now are astronomically slow, and comparatively to Mercedes or Ferrari, and that feels like an issue for me because then you have rather than having like a front of field and like then like a back of field, you have this pretty defined taper throughout the entire field, which feels like it really resigns people to like their spots more than it has in the past. So I'm worried about that for the like results. Like maybe you have some infighting early on in the race between a couple of the top teams, some of the mid teams, and some of the like the bottom teams. But eventually there's this like spread that kind of happens. I don't know. That's kind of the issue that I see around it is the disparity between performance is tough. The surging and the passing and all of the wheel-to-wheel racing, super fun.
Yeah, and you might be saying, hey, Natty, Matthew, why are we even watching Formula One then? Don't give up hope yet, because the aspect that we can't account for amidst of all of these negativities is that these teams have engineers that are working around the clock for
the
new
smartest
upgrades.
People in the world.
And they can bring upgrades to their car to help. And we see significant improvements. You look at Haas last year after summer break.
Crazy.
The improvements and upgrades that they brought, phenomenal. And it put them back in the race for top of the midfield. So there's still a lot that can happen. And I don't think we're putting our stake in the ground quite yet.
No,
but
I'm not. There will be a lot of improvements to come. Like it's so early. Mercedes, frankly, just has like gotten the jump on the engine tune. And that's so much of the reason why they're so dominant. They've kind of cracked the code early. But I mean, this is like anything. When someone finds out kind of like the meta, the most effective tactic available, for my gamers out there, when you figure out the meta, there's typically someone utilizing the meta in any given sport or a game. And then everyone else begins to pick up on it slowly. And I do think that's going to happen. It's a huge bummer to me, honestly, that this like Middle Eastern Grand Prix in April aren't happening.
2 less races.
Yeah, it just feels like kind of crucial to like have those data points.
And Natty, this leads us perfectly into our next segment is, do we have a car reliability problem? We had 4 DNS, so did not start, and 3 DNFs, did not finish.
Yeah, because
I was looking at
both
it
McLarens didn't start, and then who else didn't start?
Both McLarens didn't start. Let me pull it up.
No, it was weird. I was confused at the beginning of the race because it said that they were starting from the pit. I was watching it so early this morning. I was so tired. I was like falling asleep. I was trying to stay up last night really late to see if I could watch the start of it. And then I fell asleep, which wrecked me because then I woke up early to watch it. I was so tired. Who didn't start?
But Natty, so we had 4 DNSs did not starts and 3 DNFs did not finish. The DNSs are Alex Albon, Gabriel Bortoleto, Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri. The DNF, surprise, surprise, I won't hate on Lance Stroll this time because his car is a box on wheels.
That's dookie.
But Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso did not finish and had to retire the car. And then our
Max.
Max Verstappen.
Sad.
So,
dude, I need a clip. We need to figure out how to get like clips from F1 TV. Because some people do that. They're obviously like getting race footage. I'm not sure exactly how we do that. But there was one clip where it's like, oh, and Lance Stroll has gone off the circuit. And I'm like, that is a soundbite. Like, that is quite literally the best soundbite ever. There was also another clip. I was listening this morning kind of very tired, as I mentioned, fading a little bit in and out of the race. And at one point I just hear the announcers go, ooh, and we got very close to seeing 2 men touch. And I was like, wait, what? It was pretty funny. There's a couple of those like road ones. It's like, that's a tight gap. I wonder if he's going to be able to fit. And you're like, okay, brother, this is
I am 12.
Yeah, no, quite literally, I'm a little boy.
Yeah, Natty, I looked at that and red flags started going up.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So many that didn't finish the race, and I had to check myself because I realized this is only a second race. A lot of cars are still trying to figure this out. But I was like, this seems like a lot. And I don't know if I've seen a race in like this to have so many drop out. Usually they'll do a Aston Martin and drive a majority of the race, get the data, understand what's going on, what's happening, how to fix what's going wrong. But we had several that didn't start because they couldn't figure it out beforehand.
Yeah, mechanical and electrical issues will be a big problem right now. The last time a new car like this was introduced, I think it was like 2012. Check me on that year. It could be different. I know the first race of the last new full bore new regulations, only 11 cars finished the first race. And then slowly you get better and better. But yeah, I mean, McLaren, people are lining up on formation. And you're seeing Lando Norris still in the garage. And you're like, oh gosh. So they had separate, unrelated electrical issues. I don't know what happened with Albon and with Gabriel Bortoleto. Max's engine just kind of bonked out on him. And then, the Aston Martins have a lifespan where they know that they're going to retire the cars. But yeah, it's kind of a bummer because there's just less action, even though you have 22 cars on the grid.
Yeah. So do you think we should be worried or do you think we're okay?
I think we're okay. At the end of the day, this won't be like a sustainable problem. One of two things in my mind is going to happen. Either the teams figure out and fix it, or regulations change to make sure everyone can race, because it's not sustainable to have was that 7 DNFs out of 22 cars? Like that can happen all the time. And so if something's happening, typically those teams will figure it out. So I'm not super worried. It's a bummer, but I'm not worried. Like it's a bummer to me that like McLaren, who I consider top of the midfield or like bottom of the front runners, that they just weren't racing this weekend.
Defending champions.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a bummer that they're not racing. I mean, it's your boys. Not anymore because we are Cadillac guys.
Yeah, if you haven't get your Cadillac merch, neither have we.
Yeah, we haven't either. Do they have merch yet?
They do, but Natty, their hats, like their freaking hats are like $180.
We gotta talk with them. We gotta help them develop a better merch line.
I'm like, make it cheaper so you can actually get some funding towards your car.
I'm gonna reach out to Cadillac F1 and see what they can do. I might email them or write them a letter. I'll write them a letter.
Handwritten letter.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do that from the F1 America pod.
Ting.
Ting ting. Okay, yeah. So I'm not super worried.
But Natty, I want to jump into our next segment here.
We got more segments. We got so many segments, people.
So many segments you aren't even ready for. But
wait, should we call them sector? Our next sector?
Oh.
Life of the Track sector. That was sector 3.
Coming up to sector 3 is, Natty, what were some of your biggest surprises this race? So this week's big surprise.
I was honestly pretty surprised to see Hamilton racing Leclerc so aggressively.
Dude, loved it.
Yeah, it was cool.
And Leclerc coming on the radio being like, this is fun.
Yeah. And it's like, I'm surprised and happily surprised because that was a blast. It highlights a problem for me that the most entertaining racing is inter-team racing, because those are the only cars that are like close enough suited to race sustainably. And so you saw Ferrari going back and forth a lot for the entirety of the race. That was fun. Dude, another surprise was wait, which one was that? It was Arvid Lindblad. I felt like I was surprised at his handling. He just totally lost the car at midway through the race. And it really looked like this kind of rookie move where he just spun out and lost traction on a turn where he shouldn't have lost traction. So I was a little surprised by just people's handling abilities with this new car. I know they're really sensitive on the rear axle. But yeah, I was kind of surprised by just oh wait, it feels like people are really struggling with this.
Yeah, and you could tell the degradation on the tires was massive in comparison to years past.
Yeah,
so
and
you
even
actually saw graining.
Even last week.
Yeah.
In Australia tires were doing pretty good, and this time when China is typically one of those circuits that has really intense graining because there's so many high speed right hand turns, so that puts a lot of wear on the front left as you're going in and you're braking, and all the car's weight focuses on that front left. So to be expected, but yeah, still it was this is interesting.
Yeah.
What about you? Surprises?
I mean, if we're going back to the top 10, my big surprises, Natty, were Behrman, Gasly, and Lawson. Behrman in P5, Gasly in P6, and Liam Lawson in P7.
Bro, Behrman looks like he just stepped out of middle school recess.
Yeah, starting with Ollie is, and you touched on it earlier, he looks like the best rookie. It's if you've been watching Formula One.
Not a rookie, though.
Not a rookie. Second year.
But second year, yeah. Sophomore. Best sophomore.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, if you looked at Haas several years ago and how dumpy their car was, and their car is still not known for being the best, man, Ollie is putting in work in that car, and Esteban is not a bad driver, but he's making Esteban look like he needs to get off the grid.
I know.
Ollie is out racing him significantly. So
make way for the new crop, man.
Dude, so he was a big surprise for me because I am excited to see what he does for the rest of the year. He might make Haas the top of the midfield.
I mean, right now, he's on my fantasy team because I think he is a dog.
Yeah, he is. But then, talking about Alpine right now, is Haas and Alpine is. I'll briefly talk about Colapinto because he finished P10, but to start the race, he did phenomenal. He held that P3, P4 spot for so long before he dipped into the pits. And I was surprised to see him holding his own in an Alpine, which was the worst on the grid last year. But Pierre Gasly jumping up to P6 and just putting in a heck of a drive, I thought that was a huge surprise. And that's a part of these regulations, Natty, that's a hidden pro, is a lot of these midfield teams are getting up there as far as finishes. And you might ask the question of, is it because the McLarens weren't racing? Possibly, and most likely the case. But the fact that they're putting it up there when it counts and when you can take advantage of it is awesome. And then that leads me to Liam Lawson in the Racing Bulls. is Liam finished above Isaac Hadjar, who took his seat at Red Bull Racing, and finished above Max Verstappen, who did not finish. So the sister team is finishing above the parent team Red Bull, which
when was the last
crazy.
time that Max had a teammate finish ahead of him?
Yeah, I think the last time was when Pierre won the Grand Prix in the Racing Bulls. It was at what race? I think it was Canada several years ago.
Yeah, it might have been something like that.
But it was a fluke win, but that was the last time I feel like a Racing Bull has really beat a Red Bull team, not just a Red Bull second driver, because Max had always been great and that Red Bull second seat has been terrible. But those were kind of my big surprises.
Yeah. No, those are good. Those are super good. Hey, I'm trying to think if I had anything else that I was surprised about. No, I think generally it was pretty good. I was surprised. Yeah, I was surprised at how sloppy Esteban Ocon was. And I mean, frankly, I was surprised that Cadillac finished. That was kind of sick.
Yeah, huge. I don't think people understand how huge it is that Cadillac finished a full race. Granted, they're last, but
it's awesome. I mean, they're just developing. Hey, from the back of the field, baby, we're gonna make it come up.
No one expects them to finish above P22 and 21 this year.
Can you see? I'm just modeling my haircut after Valtteri Bottas.
Valtteri Bottas.
Going for the Valtteri mullet. Next week, I'll be bleach blonde.
But Natty, coming into Sector 4 here.
Sector 4, talk to me.
Sector 4, we have a fun sector, new sector to F1 America Pod.
I like fun.
Shout out New Heights podcast, No Dumb Questions. We're doing No Dumb Questions for Formula 1.
Yeah, plagiarize.
So, hey,
I love plagiarizing.
It's No Dumb Questions Formula 1.
But yeah, soft plagiarizing. No, we're good. We respect you guys, Travis and what's his Jason and Travis.
Dude, quick tangent. Good. Can you imagine Jason's kids of having Aunt Taylor?
Bro.
And
if Taylor Swift is your aunt, that's like the biggest hack of all time. If you're a little girl,
it's like, I have the coolest aunt in the world, and everyone's like, yeah, you do.
Yeah. No, it's so sick. Like your uncle is one of the greatest tight ends to ever play NFL football, and his coolness pales in comparison to your aunt. It's crazy. It's crazy.
So, Addie, the point of the segment is, if you're a listener and you see something in a race and you're like, what the heck does that mean? Shoot us a text, because you probably have our number. If you don't, shoot us a DM on Instagram or Twitter.
Yeah, comment on something.
And we'll add it, because these were some great questions that I didn't even think about because it's so ingrained in me. But Nettie, I was asked a question: what does it mean when a driver has an exclamation point next to their name during a race?
Yes. Okay. So there's a couple things, because there's a yellow exclamation point and there's a red exclamation point. You'll see that on the side where it shows all the driver standings and their place in the race. The yellow exclamation point means, driver did something that could be a boo-boo, something bad, maybe a penalty, potential penalty. So drivers do things during the race, and you're never stopping the race to like review whether or not it was good. Like you might in football, if like someone does something bad, or like you have like an instant replay or like an official review, the race keeps going. But then you have this group of people who are at the race that work for the FIA, and they review whether or not someone did something bad and it's deemed bad and deserves a penalty. So that's the yellow exclamation point. It means that someone maybe did something bad and it's being reviewed. If that turns to a red exclamation point, typically a banner will flash on the top of the screen. That means that they have been given a penalty. There's a lot of different types of penalties. Some are grid penalties for the next race. Some are usually second penalties, ranging anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds. And so it's typically a penalty. That's what the exclamation point means. It means someone's going to get in trouble.
Yep. Great.
And a quick caveat, drivers actually have licenses to race Formula One. There's a specific license that you have to qualify for. And similar to your normal American driver's license, you can get points on your license, and if you get so many points, you lose your license. So that might happen if you get like enough tickets driving your car around town that you'll accrue certain points, And if you get a certain amount of points on your normal driver's license, they will take away your license. Same thing in F1. If you accrue enough points over a certain duration of races, you can be banned from the next race. That actually happened to Kevin Magnussen last year, maybe, or 2 years ago.
2 years.
Yeah, an old driver got so many penalties because he ran into so many people that they were like, dude, you can't race next week. You're a menace to society, so you need to step away. So yeah, that's that. I've got one for you though. I've got a question for you. What happens when a safety car goes out, and how do the drivers know how fast to go? What's that about? That was a question that we got.
It may be confusing because you see a yellow banner pop up on the side of your screen that says safety car deployed. And then you see either this Aston Martin or this Mercedes street car driving around the circuit. And you're like, what is happening? So essentially what the FIA are doing in that scenario is they're putting out this car that, truth be told, is flying and you just can't tell.
So fast.
Like when you look at the onboards, those guys are the real dogs.
That's one of the best things to see, though, is like you really get a sense of how fast F1 cars go when you see the safety car cornering and it's like screeching around these corners, going as fast as they can. And the Formula One cars are like.
And they look like they're on cruise control behind it, trying to weave.
No, it's crazy. Anyways, go on.
So the safety car comes out on track when the FIA deem that they need to send out volunteer individuals, the people who are typically in orange suits, to go out onto the grid. And they need to slow the pack down enough so that those individuals who are on the circuit are safe. So the safety car is used to slow everyone down.
And bunch everyone together.
Yep.
Yeah.
So typically everyone gets bunched together and you are not allowed more than 10 car lengths behind the person in front of you. And then the next question that typically comes from that is, well, how fast do you know to go when the safety car is out on track? And essentially the way the FIA does it is about a 40% increase of the average time lap of the circuit. So for China, the average lap time is around 1:30 to 1:33. So when they're doing a safety car lap, they're shooting for about 2 minutes to 2 minutes, 3 seconds. And you might be saying, Natty, how do they know how to get it in 2 minutes and 3 seconds on the dot?
I got no idea.
Their steering wheel has an LED screen on it that shows them their delta, which is whether or not they're up or down. So if they're going too slow, it'll show them on their steering wheel, hey, you need to increase your speed by 1.5 seconds.
That's
or,
crazy.
Hey, you need to decrease your speed by 3 seconds. And if the driver doesn't, then they can get a penalty. So safety car goes out there typically for preventing another crash and injuring an individual who is helping clear a car, clear debris, whatever it may be. But
we love safety cars in general. I think safety cars are actually really fun and make races interesting because of that bunching effect. It almost feels like it's like a reset to the race. So you get a lot of fun tactical variables. So whenever you see Lance Stroll careening off the edge of the track and going into the barriers and crashing a car, that is typically a good thing for multiple reasons. One of those being when the race is really spread out, it's just fun because it compacts it all down and you get some more action in the middle. So yeah, I like safety cars.
And bonus tack on question from Megan in the audience.
What's up, Megan?
She was asking me, okay, why are they weaving behind the safety car? And they're weaving because they're trying to put temperature into these tires, because most of the cars you'll see dive into the pits because essentially if the average lap was 1:33 seconds and now you're going 2 minutes and 3 seconds, you have 30 seconds, which is essentially a free pit stop. So you're jumping in the pits, getting new tires as a free pit stop and taking minimal damage on your overall race time. So these drivers will start weaving to put heat and temperature into those tires.
Yeah.
So it essentially melts that compound so the tires become stickier.
Yeah. And even if you didn't get new tires, you're still trying to keep them in a certain temperature window. And so that weaving, the quick back and forth, just makes everything hot, because normally they're running at optimal temperature when they're racing, but when they're going slow, they lose temperature, and that's no no bueno.
Yeah. But Natty, our last question in No
Talk to
Dumb
me.
Questions is, what is graining and how does it impact the drivers?
Graining is a term that you'll hear a lot if you're listening like the commentators, but basically it describes tire degradation. So when the tires get worn out, which it's crazy. These cars are being pushed so freaking hard. Like, my tires that I have on my truck last me, gosh, these ones like 40 to 60,000 miles. These tires that they're using in F1 are really nice tires. They're like the most expensive tire in the world. And the cars are going so fast that they last, I mean, if you're doing like a 2-stop race, 100 kilometers sometimes, like sometimes even less than that for the soft tires, they can last, a matter of like 50 kilometers.
Max ditched his in 8 laps.
Yeah, which I hear Boone in the background. Wait, is Boone around, dude? That's Matt. Matt's got a dog named Boone.
Yeah, I got a Bernese Mountain Dog. He is outside in the cold weather. You heard him woof woof in the
dude.
background.
He's loving it though. If you got to get him, that's fine. But yeah. So that graining describes basically tire wear. Certain parts of the tire, depending on the track, can get like more graining than others. And the more that a tire wears down, the less grippy it becomes. Graining kind of describes a like undulation in the surface area of the tire. So if there's less contacted surface area and more of these kind of like mounds and grains, if you think about like grains of sand, there's just less surface of the tire contacting the road and less grip. So that's graining.
Yeah. And next time you watch a race, if you see their onboard, look at the tires and you'll see these darker spots on the tires. And if you look to the edge of it, you'll see the rubber actually flicking off of the car. That's what graining is. But Natty,
moving on.
It's time. Your favorite part of the podcast.
I love this part of oh, yes. I'm like Pavlovian salivating when I hear that sound. Matt, who is let's start with legend of the week. Who's your legend of the week?
Oh, so my legend of the week is Toto.
Okay.
So Toto is the Mercedes. What is his title? It's Mercedes F1 team CEO and principal.
Yeah, he does everything.
Like he has like part ownership, and he's the guy who runs the Mercedes racing team. My legend of the week is when he came on the radio to talk to Kimi after his win and kept receipts of all the haters just reading out of, don't bring him to a team. He's too young. He needs more experience. And then giving Kimi a cheers of well done on his first race win. Because he had so much flack for taking Kimi so young to Mercedes. Yeah, and I loved that he kept receipts for everyone just talking crap. That was my legend of the week. It's just Toto being Toto, and you'll see him.
I just got the chills.
He is the king when it comes to in the garage pan. Like when they go live, you'll just see him looking at the computer, and he'll either, if it's going well, he'll look over there and just give you a little smirk. Or if it's going terrible, he'll just continue to look at the computer.
Bro, what a beast. That's so sick.
But Natty, who's your legend of the week?
Dude, my legends, actually plural, of the week were the commentators, because they had a job out for them. There were a couple moments I was like, oh, you guys are trying so hard, and kudos to you because you have bosses and you have jobs. They were just like basically trying to the regs and like the season, and they're like, well, yeah, well, like these cars aren't that slow, they're only like this much slower than the last time, and like they're actually like kind of a little bit faster around this corner, and like, oh look, did you see that boost? That's so fast. Like
they have full loads of fuel and they're doing this amazing.
So true. Yeah, look how fast they look going around the corner with 88 kilograms of fuel. That's crazy. Like they really were like, I was listening.
I noticed it. They were trying so hard. And I was like, man, this is going to go segment perfectly into my loser of the week. But I was dying. I was like, oh, they are being told, hey, you need to hype these up. Everyone hates these regulations. You guys need to make it cool.
Oh, and I was like, you guys are trying so hard. And like, kudos to you because they got to keep their jobs. Like Alex Jakes and David Coulthard and like I mean they're good. They're like really good announcers.
Nico Rosberg will jump in there every once in a while.
And bro, it's like you guys have a job cut out for you, and you are trying your darndest. And I see the effort that you're putting forth. They're my legends. Love them,
dude. It's so funny.
Who's your loser?
Dude, my loser, perfect segue, so thank you. My loser of the week is F1 Media.
Bro.
Dave, I texted you this earlier in the week.
This is so bad.
If you don't follow Formula One as much as Dave and I do here,
you do a lot because you're on Twitter. I'm not on Twitter. And dude.
So if you haven't been following, and if you have, cheers to you, but everyone is dogging on these new regulations to the point that Formula One has been removing comments on their social media pages from fans that are dogging on the new regulations.
Bro, you're cooked if you're removing comments.
And the funniest part is Twitter, and Natty, you might not know this because you don't have a Twitter, but after Elon took over Twitter, he did this thing called Community Note, which essentially is a fact check note within a tweet. So it helps prevent fake news, or if someone's lying or has misinformation in some way. Formula One got community noted saying, again, Formula One is removing comments from followers.
Well, and dude, they removed Max's interview too from the last when he was dogging it. Max was kind of talking trash, and they just did not include his post-race interview.
Yeah, so essentially, after a post-race, Max got interviewed and essentially just started talking about how terrible these regulations are, and they removed it completely from the whole interview segment and just like, oh nope, we're not showing that. And then La Forza Ferrari came in with the ultimate troll video.
Bro.
They have Charles Leclerc sitting in the Formula One pod, and he's scrolling through all the buttons on his steering wheel, and then you see it click through, and then it comes to a Mario Kart game on his LED screen, and you just see him pan over to the camera because all the Formula One drivers are just making jokes about how Formula One is just turning into Mario Kart with this boost, and the boost is like a mushroom in Mario Kart.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy. I mean, I hope that they listen, like, because there is the possibility that stuff is so bad that they need to change it. So that was funny though. I mean, dude, F1 Media is cooked for deleting comments. That's like rule number one.
Which is what made the announcer thing so much more funnier. So much more funny to me.
Because it's like these guys are under heat right now.
Yeah, they're being told, we need you to save us because we made a huge mistake. But Natty, F1 Media is my loser of the week. Who's your loser of the week?
It's got to go to my REM cycle. I mentioned this. I tried to stay up so late last night, and then I fell asleep and already had an alarm set up, and I woke up to watch the race, and I was so tired. So I was so dumb for trying to stay up to 1 a.m. our time to watch the Chinese Grand Prix, and I just got cooked. I've been so tired all day. So I'm looking forward to more of those European those races that happen for us like 7 a.m. Ooh, that's good. That's good. Because me staying up late doesn't bode well.
Hey, our next race is Miami. We get it on.
No, we get Japan. And coming up. Not this week, but next.
Okay, you're right. Okay, so we have one more
Japan.
Rough go, and then we get back to normal times. But
so we're close. But yeah, my REM cycle's cooked.
Yeah, Natty, any last updates before we let the people go?
Dude, well, I'm hopeful. I love F1. There's so many people who love F1. I think these regs will get figured out. But no, I'm stoked for Kimi. Kimi crushed. I think we got to give our flowers to Kimi Antonelli. You're 19 years old. He hasn't even escaped the statistic that could make him a teenage pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
He's still in danger.
Dude just got his actual road driver's license last year.
And he just won an F1 race. And that's exciting. I don't care who you are. Yeah.
Yeah, cheers to Kimi.
Cheers to Kimi, you young Italian prince.
So if you don't follow us on Instagram, Twitter, or subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, or wherever you get this podcast, do that now.
That'll be awesome.
Aside from that, there'll be a link.
Or leave a comment. Because everyone, you know how everyone says this at the end of their pod? Everyone's like, dude, like and subscribe, all that stuff.
And they're just wanting the the ad revenue and all that crap. It's
Yeah,
like, we don't have enough. We want to hear from you.
we actually would love to hear from anyone who's listening to this. So, like, legit, just like, I mean, you can follow and unfollow us. I don't
You
care.
can absolutely destroy us and talk about
Talk-
whatever. Talk about Natty's terrible mullet. We won't care.
What the hell?
Sorry, Dave.
Oh my God.
I take it back. Don't talk about
But
the
no,
mullet.
seriously, it would be awesome if anyone's listening to this to hit us with some comments. Let us know what you think. If you have any questions, if there's something that you want to hear us talk about, we'd love to. We're just always riffing after these races anyway, so we'd love to hear something.
Until then, we will see you for the Japan Grand Prix, and goodbye.